Now you might be thinking about what the greatest 12 episode anime ever made is, and I'm here to tell you that unless you answered Akudama Drive, you're wrong. Akudama Drive is the greatest 12 episode anime I have ever watched, and a lot of that comes from the fact that it is an anime original story that doesn't have any material such as manga or light novel that it needs to follow, as sometimes adapting from manga or light novel into an anime can go horribly wrong, as the anime company may choose to skip or alter moments that take place in the manga, leaving the story feeling disjointed and out of place. Tokyo Ghoul fans, you have my sympathy. Akudama Drive, created by 2Q Games, tells the story of how a 500 yen coin caused the complete collapse of an entire state. Akudama Drive takes place in a cyberpunk dystopia that begins with our protagonist, ordinary person, yep, that is the main character's name, having a chance encounter with a man at a takoyaki store where she fails to return the man's 500 yen coin that was dropped, cited as being bad luck, and oh, bad luck it was, as she is then arrested for being a goody two-shoes and not spending the 500 yen. After chasing around a black cat for what feels like forever, she ends up getting roped into this batshit insane plan, along with other Akudamas, to help free the most dangerous Akudama, Cutthroat, from being executed, and is forced to become an Akudama herself to stay alive, referring to herself as the Swindler. After freeing Cutthroat, bomb necklaces are placed around the Akudama, where they are told by the Black Cat that their mission is to raid Shinkansen, a super long high-tech train, while retrieving a package which is later revealed to be a brother and sister. I think that the anime's technical villains being the main protagonist of the anime is great. Watching an anime from this perspective is unique, as from a villain's point of view there are no lines that can't be crossed, which leads into some of the most disturbing, gory and brutal action sequences I have seen in a long time. I love that the anime is set in a cyberpunk style world, as it helps to show off the lack of individualism that plagues the population of Kansai, as everyone doesn't seem to be able to think for themselves, which is further emphasized with Bunny and Shark throughout the anime. The level of animation that went into capturing the world itself is breathtaking. It is dense and populated with many different set pieces and sprawling action sequences that are all in service of furthering a story that teaches an important lesson on how we affect ourselves and those around us. The design of all the characters is also incredible, but I feel like the faces were given some extra special detail, which shouldn't be a surprise to some, as founder of 2Q Games, Kazutaka Kodaka, is the creator of Danganronpa, a game notorious for well-drawn characters with crazy face details. The action in Akudama Drive is second to none. The fight scenes are constantly ramping up not only in intensity, but also in emotional impact as the stakes continue to rise. There is no better example of this than the fight between Brawler and the Execution Division Master, where a combination of slick fight sequences and brutal attacks makes for a satisfying fight scene between the two powerhouses. But the most important part of the fight is the result, as the outcome has a significant impact on those involved with them. None were affected more than the Execution Division apprentice, as her master's final words and subsequent death completely changes her overall personality for the rest of the anime. As where she would usually be hot-headed while always ensuring she completes her work, she's much more cool-headed and somber, as the death of her master weighs so heavily on her. So when she is forced to look after the Execution Division Junior, she doesn't want to have to go through the pain of someone she knows dying. So she always does whatever it takes to ensure that the junior stays alive, even if that means disregarding her own mission, where previously she would have just done the mission regardless of the loss of life. The death of her master helped give her perspective as to just how precious life really is, and that it is not to be taken for granted. There's also the tight friendship between Brawler and Hoodlum, as the Brawler, who is built like an Arc creator character, was obsessed with fighting and was always in search for a strong opponent. He always looked up to Hoodlum, believing his stories of greatness. And then there's Hoodlum, who tries to act bold but is in fact a coward and a compulsive liar who wanted to use the Brawler, but grows to care about him over the course of the anime. So when the Brawler dies, the void of their friendship is what continues to progress Hoodlum as a character. The way they capture that, with him attempting to kill the apprentice out of anger and sadness for the loss of his friend, to being a coward and teaming up with the doctor to gain protection, then being able to overcome his cowardice and serve justice to his friend's killer, is one of the many times Akudama Drive nails its character development. Akudama Drive is, in its simplest form, justice against the corrupt. And as the swindler begins to learn about the execution division and all the lies that they've told to the people of Kansai, she becomes the martyr for this justice. The fact that her name is Ordinary Person just helps to emphasize that these circumstances could have happened to anyone, and that it takes only one person to make a change. The impact that the swindler has on Sister over the course of the anime is incredible, as Swindler teaches Sister that she is more than just an object, that she is a person and has a right to live, then choosing to sacrifice herself with a smile on her face, knowing she's doing the right thing. And in her last moments, having a vision of the children walking down the tunnel is one of the most beautiful and heart-wrenching moments that the anime has to offer. Then there's Courier, a man with a robotic arm and bike who is obsessed with delivering packages, who is the most stone-faced and serious of all the Akudama. But as the anime goes on, we learn about his past and how he ended up becoming the person he is, really diving into the character presented and getting as much as you can out of him. I love the moment where the 500 yen coin is returned to him. It felt like a passing of the torch, where the swindler inspires the courier to do the right thing and ensure the safety of brother and sister. Then, in his final fight, where he uses everything he has to stop the execution division from pursuing the brother and sister in one of the most over-the-top action sequences of all time. Then having it end with him smiling was such a nice conclusion to his character, who is always so expressionless with his emotions. Or even the hacker, while not as fully fleshed out as the others, was always in search for a worthy challenge to hack. He was constantly bored and uninterested, as hacking even into the most secure places was easy for him. So when he finally found a challenge in Kanto, it was a pleasure to see him enjoying hacking so much, to the point where he put his existence on the line for the hack, going all out like an absolute badass to disable Kanto's security system. Lastly, there are the completely unhinged psychopathic characters of this anime, the Doctor and Cutthroat. Now Cutthroat is my personal favorite character. I love expressive characters that are able to take command of the stage whenever they're on the screen, whether it's his obsession with the color red, Swindler, or his complete lack of morals. He is constantly at the center of whatever is happening, whether it's him using brother as a shield to protect himself, him playing a life and death game of hide and seek with Swindler, or touching anything that's red. His ability to keep the viewer engaged with whatever he's doing or hinting at is what makes him easily the most entertaining character to watch in Akudama Drive. Then we have the Doctor, who is a major plot point and is a much more methodical character, as she works more from out of the frame while she slowly plans her next move. She is, quite simply put, the most hated character of this anime, as she ends up betraying the Akudama and aligning herself with the execution division for immunity. While manipulating Hoodlum, Doctor proceeds to reveal that she was the cause for Brawler's death. This revelation forces the viewer to continue to watch as they desperately want to see her comeuppance, and boy does it not disappoint, as her death is not only extremely rewarding, it also helps to solidify Hoodlum's character development throughout the entire anime. Bunny and Shark, while they can sometimes be annoying, they have some of the most interesting parts of the anime, as they are used by the execution division to manipulate the masses into believing that the government is just. There are moments, however, throughout the anime where Bunny and Shark are hacked and are used to question the government as to whether they are just, and asks people to think for themselves. In the end, due to Swindler's self-sacrifice and Bunny and Shark's repeated message to the public, convinces the people of Kansai that the executioners are dangerous, which results in the people of Kansai rebelling against the executioners, leading to an all-out war. The story of Akudama Drive is insane, as there are plenty of twists throughout the story to constantly keep you invested, such as the betrayal of the Doctor, Cutthroat's revelation to Swindler, the reveal that brother and sister were government experiments that were created to be used by Kanto, which was revealed to be a void that was housing a quantum supercomputer where all the people live inside of its data. Yeah, pretty crazy. Even throughout all that, the highlight of the story is its ending, where everything the show has been building finally comes together beautifully, as we see that not only we can change ourselves, but also others. As Swindler's self-sacrifice sends outrage to the people of Kansai to fight back against the corruption of the government, while Courier hands brother and sister the 500 yen coin, a symbol of change, past, present, and future, and helps buy them time to escape through the tunnel to a place where they can be safe from the execution division and start a new life. Seeing them walking down that tunnel makes all the pain and suffering seem worth it in the end. This anime is incredible and tells a beautiful tale of individualism and justice against the corrupt. If you haven't watched Akudama Drive, I would highly recommend it. And if you have a different opinion, please feel free to roast me in the comments. And thanks for watching.